Hey there, Facebook. So I'm clicking the invite button here, and if you don't want me to invite you, please let me know now, because I just kind of go through here and invite everybody. But I just realized, maybe you guys don't want to see these videos. It might trigger your PTSD, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So if my videos are causing you any kind of discomfort or pain or making triggering your PTSD, let me know, and I won't invite you. I'll stop inviting you. I just kind of go through and invite everybody who's on the list and just like hit the invite button over and over and over again. But you don't have to be invited if you're not interested or if it's bothersome. So anyway, just want to let you guys know what's going on here a little bit. Here at the United Nations, there's a permanent forum, permanent panel of indigenous people from on the North and South American continent. And there's a NGO, the acronym is INDI, and I have a hard time remembering the name of it, but I was invited here to be able to live stream this and be a part of this by them. So if you're watching this, Big C or Claudia, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This opportunity means a whole lot to me, and I'm very grateful that you guys are able to include me in this. And if I can ever do anything to repay you or help you out in any way, then feel free to ask, because I got your back. Obviously, I could tell the two of you have my back. So if there's ever anything I can do, please feel free and ask. I'm at your disposal. So I just wanted to say, what's going on here is really it's heartbreaking, because there are over 390 million indigenous people in North and South America alone. And those people don't get a voice at the United Nations. Essentially, what's happening here is that the whole world gets to have representation at the Circle of Nations. The whole world gets to have a say over what happens on the planet, whether we go to war, who gets censured, which sort of tariffs and, what sort of sanctions we put on people for their behavior. But indigenous people of North and South America do not get a voice here at the United Nations. They get a voice, but the United Nations people, like the permanent members, don't respect the words of the indigenous people enough to actually honor them or give them any credence, and they certainly don't pass any resolutions that the indigenous people ask for. So even though it's great that the people have a forum to express themselves, it's very disheartening that they don't get an official seat at the table. Because it essentially says, 390 million people who have been living on these continents since the dawn of time don't get a say over what we're going to do to your continents. And it's horrifying. If that was your home country, and that was your land, and a global cadre of power mongers came in and said, your voice is irrelevant, we're not going to listen to you, there's nothing that you can say that will make us change our policies, we're going to rape and pillage your land, and we're going to allow the genocide of your people. How would you feel about that? Because that's essentially what the United Nations is doing here, is they're saying, you indigenous people don't get a voice. And it's ridiculous. So, it's hard for me to be inside of that building. I've been in there for a couple hours already. And what's going on is there are all these guys in suits, and a lot of them are old white men, and they kind of smirk at me, they look down their nose at me oh, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. You're some sort of, you're not even, what are you doing here? And I am a human being. And I have the exact same rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as passed by the United Nations in 1948 as every other one of these people. We all have the exact same rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and yet individuals inside of this building right here try and take some sort of stuck-up attitude like they're worth more, like they have more of a say. And in fact, they do have more of a say, because what they've done is they've marginalized the indigenous voice to the point where the indigenous people don't get resolutions and they're allowed to be genocided. They're just allowed to be genocided. Let that sink in for a minute. The indigenous people of North and South America are allowed to be genocided. The United Nations allows that. Even though we have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is a stronger document than the United States Constitution, it goes way above and beyond the rights that are delineated by the Constitution, and they're for everybody. They're not just for Anglo people. They're not just for Europeans. So the voice of the indigenous people needs to be heard and respected, and right now, being inside of this building, it couldn't be more clear that the wealthy Anglo ruling class does not give two shits about the indigenous people. It couldn't be more obvious. And you can see it in the demeanor and the presence and the attitude that they carry. It's kind of like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, please bring around my Shetland pony. I'm going to go off on a fox hunt. Oh, these indigenous folks, they're so quaint with their primitive ways. But no, we have the exact same rights. If anything, we should have more rights. This is our homeland. This land right here where the United Nations sits is unceded treaty land of the Arikara people. This land was directly stolen from the indigenous people who still live here.
Right here.
And they have to fight to have a voice. Meanwhile, people inside of this building want to come across like they're more.
Hey.
Yeah, you got all these Wasichus just hanging around, leaning on the little guys. Mm-hmm. But, I feel really fortunate to be here. Can you tell us the name of the NGO that's...
yes, so I can tell you all the names and stuff. So we are at the 16th Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues at the United Nations, and we are with the NGO, the non-governmental organization that is called International Native Tradition Interchange, INTI, INTI. And that's who helped get us these lovely passes. Got our good friend Tawasi in just today. A miracle move, which is fantastic. Got the youth in, got Joanne in, LaDonna, Myron. Our whole team is all through INTI, which is headed up by Claudia and her sister Bishi, or Rosia. Lady of many names and many jobs and many things. So yeah, that's who organized our thing.
International
Native Tradition Interchange, INTI. Really, really fantastic group. They've been working with the UN for like a decade or more, and it's been building to this year, and it's going to continue to building. This is the biggest year that they've had. This is my first time here, but I know that we were really, really pushing to be able to get that panel, and we didn't know that we had that panel inside the UN until last week, right before we got here. We knew that we had been approved to have a space, but we thought they were going to throw us outside the building. But thankfully that we were in the building. Sure, it was in the room all the way down at the end of the hallway, but we are in the building, and that's what matters, and that's a start. The flood has started. We get in a little bit and we keep growing. We had how many great speakers on this panel here and how many people in attendance, and then next year we have more, or the next time that there's an event here, we have more, and I hope that y'all out there are inspired to see what people are doing here, to see what Joanne is doing, LaDonna and the youth like Frankie and Zeke, to see them speaking and to be inspired to know that you too can come here and have a voice in your own issues, have a voice on your own issues, not just have other people speaking on your behalf. I don't want to be speaking for anyone. I'm kind of speaking a little bit much now on it, but that's just because I helped with the paperwork and the logistics of it, and helped to sort of work through the red tape of this really heavily bureaucratic system that is by design has all these little mazes of paperwork and sign-ups just to try to be exclusive. That's how they keep people out, is to make things complicated and to make them seem overwhelming or intimidating. But we're here to break down those barriers and show that there is a path in, that you're not a rat in a maze. Like, we've found kind of the path, you know. We're still learning, but getting better and better at it. So,
well, thank you for all your time and effort, because
thank you.
You got me in here, and you got all of us, and you know, whatever you have to say, don't diminish it, because you bring a lot of clarity to the issues.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. You too, bud.
Yeah.
So here, I'll give you this back.
So I noticed a lot of you guys were responsive to the voices of these two youths that were on the panel earlier. So I saw them in the hall and came up and asked them if they had a moment to come and speak with us, because, you know, I really want to listen to the young people. And I encourage you all who are out there watching, please listen to the young people. They have the largest stake in this issue. They have more to lose by us falling aside than you can imagine, unless you're a young person yourself. So please listen to the young people, and they were gracious enough to come out here, and I'm going to put them in front of the camera and just listen. So,
hello.
I wanted to hear what you had to say about your family and your homeland, where you came from. And then I also really loved what you had to say about where you think we can go from here. So just say anything you feel like.
All right, well, I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona. My name is Frankie So. Flagstaff, Arizona is a beautiful little town in northern Arizona. I highly recommend it. If you roll through the city, hit me up. I'll hook you guys up with a place to sleep, some really good native food. I'll show you guys around the mountains, and I'll show you my backyard. But in Arizona, I grew up on reservation-wise, I grew up in Cameron, Arizona. That's on Highway 89, about 30 minutes north of Flagstaff. And it's just like a great plain desert. And are you taking a picture of us? All right. But sorry, kind of got sidetracked. But yeah, Arizona is a beautiful place. Very beautiful sand. I
was born in Arizona.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You ever visited the Navajo Reservation?
No.
Damn. Yeah, it's beautiful spot. And
I went through Window Rock.
Yeah, that's the Navajo Reservation. That's the capital of the Navajo Reservation.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's where Window Rock.
That's where all our corrupt leaders are in our nation. And I'm calling them out.
Oh.
Because
so the tribal council up there,
they supported Trump.
What?
They had our tribe gift administration, the Trump administration. They got gifted native regalia and look what the Trump administration, and look what they're doing. They're fucking shit up. Sorry about my language, but
you guys are facing some uranium poisoning.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's already happened. I mean, we had in the Colorado River. The Colorado River's fucked because they were uranium. They were digging uranium, and they didn't know how to properly get rid of their waste. So they put it in the walls of the Grand Canyon, and shit fucking broke, and now that's leaking into the little Colorado River. It's like a polluted Lake Havasu, Lake Powell, my home area, and the little Colorado River that runs through Cameron, Arizona, and water's really died down a lot. I mean, I remember used to like going down to the river as a little kid, sorta, and like seeing the river like clean, like I mean, it was dirty because it had dirt in it, but I could see it. I could tell it was good water. My grandma would take me down there and we'd have fun. But now you can't go down there. It's toxic, and then if I go down there, I'll die. And it's hard because our livestock aren't really smart, and water is water, and that shit's gonna fuck up their body, and then we just got to be careful, you know.
So, are you going to go to any camps from here? Do you have any plans to go to camp?
I might. I'm actually. My whole thing was like, I was just after that speech. I just had said that speech, and that's it. And I was like, I'm done. That's my weight got lifted off my shoulder, like a backpack, let go, you know. And yeah, and
Maybe go home for a little while.
exactly, I haven't been home in about 8 months, like 7 months, and I miss my family. I miss my mom. My little brothers are growing up without me watching them, and my whole family's growing, but at the same time I'm growing, and we're all growing in a beautiful way. I can't wait to go back home and look at the way I'll look on life, and like I'll like go back home and like look at things in a different perspective, you know?
So if you could give any encouragement or any leadership towards the people who are watching this, what would it be?
Find out who you are as a human being. Find out your roots. I mean, you're indigenous somewhere. I mean, we're all indigenous basically, but some of us aren't because we like to destroy the earth and you know, but find out who you are and be proud of that, you know, because you have a power, and you just got to think about the future. Think about your nephews, think about your nieces, think about how much you love them and care for them. Like how would you want their world to be like for them growing up? Wouldn't you would love to have them like have clean water. The water is full of fluoride now, and like all these, like, it gets filtrated with so much shit, and it's sad, but it gets the job done. And yeah, just gotta be be proud of who you are. I mean, it all comes from within. I mean, you can't live a lifestyle like this if you're not like free. I mean, you have to be at peace with yourself. But at the same time, a lot of people actually like make it in the world, like doing things like this. But to truly make it, it feels like you have to be at peace. Like you have to be in harmony with one. You have to be in harmony with the earth, and because that's all we're doing. Is like activism is like we're fighting for human rights. We're fighting for like earth rights and like basic human fundamentals, and that's what we're fighting for. And it's just little things like that. Like, they're trying to dig up more uranium. Cool, let's just go over there and tell them not to. Let's step it up. Simple things like that. Like, oh well, there's you just gotta pay attention to the law too. I mean, laws get passed while you don't know, secretly behind closed doors. Say like with the corrupt representative, like representing you as an individual. So you have to, find your place too. You have to find your place in the battle. Like, some people are at the front lines, some people are on the computer doing live feeds, some people are doing documents and paperwork. You just got to find your place in the battle.
All right. Thanks for
Can
your
I ask you a
time.
question, Frankie, real quick? So I know you said that, like, you felt like a weight, like you lost, like, taking a backpack off, right?
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like you now have a new backpack. It maybe doesn't feel the same way, but going back to where you're from, you now, the people that are there, they've seen what you've done, and they saw what you did here, and you now have like an opportunity to educate like the next generation and to continue like passing this message. So I just was wondering, like, how are you going to go about like continuing to inspire other people like you are inspired to come here? And yeah.
All right. Just have to go back home. I mean, my homeland, we have our own battles. There's pipelines being laid everywhere. Like, there's bad things happening everywhere, and me personally, I want to go back and fight for my land, what's rightfully mine. My creation stories, we come from the earth, and we're like straight from the earth. Like, we are from the earth, and that's just like a connection I have. Like, just like a deep feel, and realizing how like messed up our Navajo Nation government is, like being representative as a Navajo within the government form, which I don't agree with. I mean, we shouldn't even have. Me personally, I don't agree with the government, like any type of government form, but I just hope for the best. I want things to prosper, but I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try my best to inspire my friends, because my friends are caught up in stupid things like what I mentioned in the live feed. They're doing that. They're still doing that same thing, and I want to help them break away. Because like in Flagstaff, I was such a heavy influence. People liked what I did, and like if like they see me do it, they do it. Like, imagine like this motherfucker just got out of the UN and just basically just talking. I mean, saying my piece, and I was a man on the street. Now I'm right in doorsteps of the devil's and the Devil's Playground.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just gotta find your battle.
A lot of us don't recognize, but we are leaders now. You are a leader right now. Like, that's why I'm turning to you guys for what your words are, is because I want to be able to follow what your leadership is, because that's how powerful your words were. And so
Thank you.
If there's ever any way I can help you, just let me know.
Hell yeah. But I'm probably gonna go back with Joanne Spotted Bear. We're gonna be going back to the West Coast, and we're gonna be stopping in Oklahoma. We're gonna say what's up to their camp down there. We're going through Texas, say what's up to their camp, and I'm gonna get out of the car in Arizona and be home.
Nice. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thanks, Frankie.
Got something to share?
Sure.
All right. So just share your name and where you're from, and just sort of just anything that you feel like, because I know you speak right from your heart. And so
Hello everyone, my name is Ezekiel Bahi. I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona. I was born in Tuba City. I was raised in Flagstaff though. I didn't spend much time on the reservations at home. My mother didn't really want me to be around that lifestyle when I was growing up, so she was raised religiously, and she was told at a young age that because we're indigenous, we can't be practicing our tradition because it made us closer to the devil, basically, is what she got from it. And I feel sorry for her, but it's sort of understandable, because when your family implements some things on you and you don't really have a choice, and you just got out of, like, we just come out of like such a situation as like a whole culture of people that we've been persecuted for 500 years. We've been persecuted, and then to come out and then barely even be able to give us rights as a human, only if that we believe a certain way or if we dress a certain way, because they weren't identifying the tribes that were dressing in their traditional dress as humans. They were identifying the ones who were signing the papers to become, like, basically giving up their rights as a Native American. They were the ones who were dressing in Western clothing, like what I'm doing now. Like, it was those people that they identified as human, and the other people, they thought that they were savages still. We're not savages. Like, I can say that right now, we're not savages. We're humble people. We're very kind. We are very loving. We have generosity, and we also have a very high sense of dignity. We are dignified in the way that we walk. We uphold ourselves, and we walk a certain way. We walk with pride, and we walk very proudly. And there's nothing that you can do to take that away from us, because even throughout all the years that we've been through stuff like this, through genocide, through the raping and the pillaging of our culture, they definitely have tried. They've tried a lot, and their efforts are useless. And every indigenous out there, you standing there being able to speak your language, or even just being able to say a few words, is living proof that they failed. They are still trying, but you're proof that they're failing. Even if you think that you're not, you are. And just know that I think every one of you guys are, because everybody's indigenous. Not just me, because I'm Native American, not just the other people from across the nations. You're also indigenous. Remember that. Hold on to that. Be proud of it. Wear it like as if it was a cape. Like, wear it. Don't ever stray away from your tradition, from your culture. If you don't think you're indigenous, like, research your family history. You don't know what you're going to come across. You might come across that you're indigenous to a land that you never even thought of. And as far as organizing with the youth, is something that I greatly desire for like our kind of organizations, is because without the youth involvement, how are we gonna, like, make decisions for the people of the future? As older folks, we can't do that. If we want this life for them to be as prosperous and harmonious as it is for us, although it's not that way very much, but if we want it to be better than what we're living in right now, we're going to have to teach them. We're going to have to let them choose. We can't decide for them. they're gonna have to fight their own battles. They're gonna have to do their own, like they're gonna have to make their own decisions. They got to make their own choices, and a way that you can do that is if you are in a community and a lot of people know you in this community and you want to help organize.
LaDonna just messaged. She said you guys got to go in soon. You're going to be on the panel.
Okay, shoot. Just if you're local to the community, get that going. Like, if you want to fight for something in your community, fight for it.
Inspire your homies.
You will inspire people. You don't even know if you inspire them, but you will. You might not think you will, but you will. I can guarantee you this. Other people at camp, I had never known them before, and they inspired me to be the better person that I am today, and that I'm bettering myself to be over the long time that I'm going to be on this planet. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on this planet, but I'm just going to say I'm going to be here for a while. And I'm here just as anyone else is, a common man. I'm here as a vessel of the energy from the cosmos, from the energy to the earth, coming here to let it be to the people so that they can have an understanding too. Not just me, the youth, the elderly, and the not so elderly but still kind of old.
Hey.
But thank you all for listening. I hope this inspired you guys, because you guys, we all need to fight. We all got to work in unity. We can do this together. We all can work at this. It's like this. You don't think that you're always in prayer, but you are. Every step you take is in prayer. Every single step you take is prayer. So don't let that get to you.
Recognize you're on stolen.
Yes, and recognize that if you are in America, you're on stolen land. But also many other places in the world. You're also on stolen places in other places. Mexico, Canada, Colombia, Africa, Germany, Australia, Mongolia, China, Russia, like everywhere basically you're stealing from somebody's sort of land if you're on it and you don't technically originate from there as a people.
So I just wanted to say, if there's ever anything that I can do for you, then just feel free to ask.
You help me, I help you.
Yeah, and these people who are watching on here, I'm sure they got your back too. So
thank you all.
I got your back too. I got your back.
If there's anything that they can do for you, what could the viewers do to make this movement better, in your opinion?
Organize in your own hometowns. Organize in your communities. Like, you might not think you'll do a lot or if you'll impact it, just do it and you'll find out that you have a strong voice too. We're all leaders. We just got to find it in our hearts to be the leader that we're supposed to be. The best leader that we can be. And we'll get there. We'll all get there. At some point, we'll all get there. And I know it's coming soon, because look at me. I'm here and I didn't expect to be here. I'm a common man. I was off the streets in Flagstaff, and now I'm in front of the UN, and I just spoke here, and I'm about to go speak again
on the main floor.
and on the main floor. And so thank you all. Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Friend request.
Hey. So guys, the indigenous flood is coming.
The indigenous flood is coming.
The indigenous flood is here. The indigenous flood is here. So the youth doing what they do so well, speaking the truth straight from their hearts, saying what really needs to be said and what's hard to say. I hope you guys were courageous enough to listen and take their words to heart, because we need the youth. We need them. We really need them. And there's a bunch of old people watching this video right now being like, you whippersnapper, you're the youth, we need you. But, I'm 41 years old today, and I don't feel that young, especially standing next to those 18, 19-year-old warriors. But what they said is really true. You have to organize locally, and that's the only way we're going to win this. We have to organize locally. So figure out who the water protectors are in your neighborhood. Figure out how you can assert your own leadership, and definitely look to the indigenous people from where you're residing. Find them. They're probably there somewhere, and invite them to be a part of it. Ask for their blessings. See if they want to bring a prayer, or if you can somehow support the indigenous people who might be oppressed, likely are oppressed in the area where you are. Then bring them into it and just organize locally, guys. So I'm gonna let you go. I don't really want to go back inside, but I feel like, that's what I got this badge for. That's what I got this data for. That's what I got this microphone for. So I want to go back inside and bring you guys some more information. So anyway, I just wanted to get outside for a minute and just go on a little rant, touch base with you guys, and let the Indigenous youth have a say, because we really need their words. We really need to hear their words. So I love you guys a lot, and I'll talk to you real soon.